And so I love your tagline, Zeal helps.
Yep.
Welcome to High Trust Professionals, a podcast where we interview top industry and community leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs from across the country. Hear what it takes to build trust, be a respected leader, be productive, and win your day. Sit back and relax as we dive into another episode of High Trust Professionals podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to High Trust Professionals. I'm your podcast host, Lynette Arrasmith. And today with me, I have my good friend, Andrea Jordan with Zeal. Welcome.
Thank you
Andrea.
for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's just like sitting and talking to a friend. Well, we are friends.
We are just kind of missing cocktails. I don't know if that's, maybe next time.
I don't know. It's not noon yet. Oh boy, I don't know. Okay, so let's just start with you. Who are you?
Sure.
Who are you with? What's your role? Tell our audience about Andrea.
Absolutely. So Andrea Jordan, and I am the head of growth and opportunity with Zeal. Zeal is a local Omaha company. We're just past 3 years old, which is exciting for any small business.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we describe ourselves as Omaha's premier lifestyle management company or personal assistants.
Ooh, lifestyle management, personal assistance.
Correct.
All right, so tell us the Zeal story. Like,
Sure.
How did all this come about? Because I love the concept.
It's kind of exactly how you might picture it. So Kelly Spurgeon is the founder, and Kelly and I have worked together for years. Back in insurance was our kind of first career together. Always in technology and strategy, and I was always in sales. So we worked together and had the chance to collaborate, get to know each other. Kind of came up at about the same time. So I left the organization after a great 10-year run because when I joined, I was a young professional and travel all the time, and that was fun. Fast forward 10 years, you got kids and houses and dogs, and traveling all the time was not the deal.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. So Kelly approached me, and we were still friends, had maintained that friendship, and said, hey, I think I'm going to do something really cool. And she shared it with me because I was kind of target audience number one, right? Busy professional, dual income household, doing all the things. And she just told me about this concept of Zeal that she had experienced the need for because she also was just a busy professional.
Yeah.
She was finding herself planning her 2-year-old daughter's birthday on her phone in a hotel room at 2 a.m. And she's like, this isn't it. And I can't be the only one that feels that way.
Right.
So she went out when she got home, wanted to see if there were people there to help her, and she couldn't find it. Market opportunity. So she shared that with me just again as a customer and a friend. And I was just like, holy smokes, this is it.
Like opportunity.
Yeah. So I just found myself texting her after that coffee and telling her, asking questions. Have you thought of this? And, we started to just get more meat on the bone of the idea. And before we knew it, we were having another conversation, and she's like, you need to be along for this ride with me. And I was like, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
So
thank you very much.
I'm so glad you mentioned. So we joined forces, and that was in early 2020.
Okay. So Zeal. How did the name come about? Because I think that's super cool.
It's a great story. There was a lot of ideas on the name before Zeal kind of stuck, including one of the ones that Kelly and I mention most often is Be the Village, right? Everyone kind of knows that concept.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where another good way to think of us, where we live.
Be the village.
Yep. It takes a village. Be the village.
Okay.
So you can file us away from that perspective too. And that was good, but there's something that wasn't just, giving me 1,000% excitement. And so Kelly, just one day kind of sitting in front of the computer, it's not Googled, but, pull up the online thesaurus type guy.
Yeah.
It's a passion. And it kind of played out to, because Zeal means a passion for ...
whatever. Yeah.
And our passion, why we're all here, what it boils down to, how we determine if we're a good solution for a customer, a family, a business, is helping people, helping you do what you need to do to be happy and successful and efficient and effective, personally and professionally. So
it kind of creates some balance, I would say.
100%. And whatever your harmony, whatever your balance is, everyone's is different.
Everyone is. So fun fact, I'm a client.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So we met, I mean, I can't even remember how many years ago we met. It's been a few.
Handful,
It was, I think, shortly after you started the company. And it didn't even register with me until I really needed you.
Right? Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Like, oh, wow, great concept.
Yeah, cool.
And so what I love about what you do is you ask questions to really determine if there's a fit. And if so, then how do you feel the need? For me, it was planning a girls' trip to the wine country. And wow, is that time consuming?
It is.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I cannot do this alone. Help.
Yes.
Help.
Yeah.
And so I love your tagline, Zeal helps.
Yep.
Zeal helps.
Yes.
So I love that. So let's talk about being successful.
Sure.
You're a small business. You've survived.
Yeah.
Kudos, right?
That.
And so what kind of habits do you feel that you possess that help you win the day?
Sure. It's always a great question. And I think that every day is a little bit different, depending on, again, especially if I'm, have my small business hat on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me and for where we're at in our journey, a successful day is making sure that every client that is kind of on my list, right, in any way, shape, or form, they're very early in their experience,
Mm-hmm.
they're asking questions, all the way to thinking about those clients I haven't heard from in a while, just keeping everyone in that pipeline just touched in all the different ways. And it's a blessing and a curse. There's so many ways to communicate anymore.
Yeah.
So I've got to keep track of that. And that's, and that's certainly my role in the company too, is to keep the customer communication up to date and make sure that people understand what we can offer them and how we can help them. And I also think too that, to win the day is we're trying to, build a culture as well, slowly but surely add people to our team and keep them engaged, because as you can imagine, Zealers we don't sit around at a desk all day talking to each other. So figuring out how to touch people on our team, in our unit, and keep them engaged and happy, satisfied with their job, on the same page, like they're a part of us growing in the solution. So those are the two parties that again, professionally, I am conscious of interacting with, engaging, and keeping up with every day. And if I do that, you inevitably have a really great conversation or some kind of win. And then I feel like that's a good day. That's a successful day.
One of the things I see in you as a leader, besides my adorable little friend, is you have the care factor.
Sure.
I mean, you have just this ism that is about others.
Sure.
And not everyone has that, Andrea. And I think that lends and leads to other people who want to engage in a conversation, like, oh, I never thought of that. Wow, she's super cool. And I feel like she could help me. Zeal helps.
Yeah.
And so let's just start that process.
Sure.
And I love that it's not one size fits all.
No,
I mean,
definitely not.
Not at all, right?
Not at all.
So we're going to come back to that.
Okay.
So tell me, winning the day, I hear you say communication.
Yep.
Being organized.
Yep, definitely.
Having a servant's heart. Certainly letting those around you know that you care.
Definitely.
I love that. So that's fantastic. What's the biggest piece of advice that you've ever received?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I think the two that come to mind, one is kind of an old one, I heard a long time ago from just one of my probably original mentors. And he wrote it on his desk on a little Post-it, and I knew it was there, but I never knew what it said. And but anyways, then he moved desk, and somehow or another that got left. I know. So I feel like
it was on purpose.
It was meant for me. And it just said, do your best today. So this gentleman was an extremely successful sales business professional. And just that simple reminder, and kind of back to that initial question, right, Lynette, successful today, I mean, just every single day, do your best. And, sometimes I just need to be reminded of that. So it sounds silly and simple, but I don't know. And I think the way that message came to me is probably more important than maybe what the message said. But so there's that. And then more recently, I've really tried, and this is probably a little bit personal and professional, to try to own that, like, be where your feet are at.
Oh,
Life is fast.
yes.
You know, and I have small kids, so I've got that personal perspective. Our business is kind of starting to just spider web out into all the excitement, which is awesome. So in order to continue to be successful, you just kind of got to ground yourself. And then to continue to have relationships with the right people and to build them and to be honest in them, you got to be here. You got to put the phone down. You got to, if you're going to go to that after hours, that coffee, that one-on-one, whatever, be there.
Be present.
Yeah.
Be present.
And that's so simple, but gosh, it's hard.
Well, you know why it's hard? Because we've got our computer and we've got our cell phone, and we've got our iPad, we've got all of these ways, right? We have our phone that's buzz, 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 buzz. So I was at a meeting this morning and we talked about just that. We talked about another professional saying, you know what, when I'm home, I don't get email notifications on my phone. He says, because how can I be true to my work audience and serve my family and be present with my kiddos?
Totally.
You can't.
Nope.
So that's a great awareness.
Yeah.
That is,
and it's hard. It's hard.
Oh my gosh.
Some days really hard.
Yeah. That is really. So then let's flip that to, what's the biggest advice or piece of advice that you've given someone else?
Oh, I mean, I've started to use that as kind of this, that maybe it's a little bit of a mentality type deal from this point moving forward. But I also think that, and again, if I'm really picturing some of my conversations in Zeal, and one of the neat things about Zeal is getting to work with and know other small business owners and leaders, and things like that, and to have conversations with those individuals about just the power of networking. And sure, is it about growing your business? Definitely. I mean, let's call it spade a spade here, but there's so much more value in that. Even and like to work with other professionals that are going through the same stuff you are. They've been where you're at. They can commiserate with you. They can celebrate with you.
I call that noodling. I think just having someone you can noodle with,
100%,
and because you never know that little nugget that you might find with or from someone else that you can integrate, that you can implement. So you use the word leader. So let's go down the path of leadership, because you know our podcast is High Trust Professionals, which to me kind of funnels into being a great leader,
very much,
or having a great leader. So what would your definition of a leader be?
Oh gosh, I mean, and you see, I feel like anymore, it's such a great conversation, right? And it definitely, to me, the great leaders in my life are people that remove obstacles, you know, out of my way so I can be successful. And they do that, you know, without you asking. They do it quietly because they want to celebrate you and put you in a position to succeed. But they're also, they're a coach and a sounding board, and they are an advocate for you, and they are, they provide you the information and access to the information for you to continue to be successful.
It's not like,
no,
it's a secret.
Absolutely.
You know,
you're only as strong as your bench strength, right?
Oh my gosh. You know, leaders should breed and grow other leaders.
Absolutely.
Is what they should do.
100%.
And it doesn't matter if that other person or that employee or that person that's your right hand wants to be a manager, but they can sure lead their space.
You are a stronger leader if you, I mean, the stronger your unit is, and then, you know, that kind of funnels down from right hand all the way down to the newest member of your team. If you empower them from Jump Street, like, it just, you have a different team. You have a different strength, and you can conquer more, and you're going to have more opportunities and more success.
Well, I think also as a leader, it helps you let go.
Completely.
So you don't have to micromanage this or micromanage that, or ask, did you, have you, will you? Because you're teaching them how.
You're providing them the tools, you are clearing the path, and all those things. Absolutely.
So important.
And it is more fun. You know what I mean?
Way more
like
fun.
your relationships are more exciting and they're more fun because your one-on-ones that you have every Monday morning aren't like micromanage you, looking at numbers, kind of, you know, shaming on you and all that stuff. It's like, how's your weekend? Awesome. Like learning about each other, relationship, they're more loyal to you as a unit. All those things just happen more naturally.
Gone are the days, I can't remember who I was talking to earlier this week, but we were talking about different leadership styles. Like back in the day,
sure,
you had the stick and it was my way or the highway.
And that's how every manager did it across all the
No
offices.
one responds to that anymore.
Nope.
Not even to have a carrot. To me, it's not even about a carrot or a stick. It's not about, I'm going to shame you to do something.
Right.
It's really about collaboration and care. And letting others around you know it's okay to have a voice.
100%.
People, want to have a voice.
Yep. And I think the other thing that's changing very quickly right now in that vein is that and because of the relationship and better communication amongst teams and leaders and things, is everybody's motivated differently. Just in general, and depending on where they're at in their career, right? Early on, just individual contributor, sales professional, 100% money and compensation was the name of the game. Fast forward to now, there's a lot of other things that are really attractive to me as a professional. And if I was, more contributing to a leader and things like that. So that stuff's important.
It is. So let's go back a few years.
Oh, geez.
So if you could go back to your younger self.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you decide
what
year that is.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it has to be when you're 5
Okay. Yep.
or 25.
Sure.
What would you say? What would you tell yourself then that what would you want to have known then, now that you are where you are in life, career, family, etc.?
There's a lot. There's a couple specific things
We are on a time frame.
There's a couple specific instances I would like to give myself some guidance on. But if we're talking generally and professionally, no, I'm just kidding. But I think that while it's really hard, whatever this kind of means to you, and I know what it means to me, you can have it all. You really, truly can. It's hard. You have to kind of choose your hard. Yeah. But you can. I am extremely fortunate, but not for lack of effort, that I have a wonderful, group of friends. I have a wonderful husband. I have 2 crazy little kids, and I have a great job, and I have a great career, and I have a great network of you can do all these things, but it just takes work.
It does take work.
And, I am someone who, I am lifted up, and I am motivated by a full busy life. Some people, are more just, simplistic. And
that's okay.
All of it's okay. And again, it kind of depends on where you're at in your journey too, a little bit, because I'll probably change that answer, down the road or whatever. But so just if I'm looking back at younger Andrea, and on days when I wasn't sure, and you're pressured by certain things, in the universe and the community to kind of lean one way or the other. Yeah. Listen to what's in your heart and your belly. You can do you, and you can have it all. And what that means to you. You gotta work your tail off, but you can.
You do. And I can't remember the quote right now where it says success is something dressed in overalls. But really, that's what it is. You have to, you put on your big girl pants, your big boy pants, and you get her done.
You do.
And success comes thereafter. But
Absolutely.
Man, sometimes we forget we have to wallow around in the mud a little bit, and or roll up our own sleeves.
Totally.
So that's great. I appreciate that. So our time's almost up. What is the most unique job or request that you've had at Zeal? It's got to be something super weird.
Well, so we get, again, if we have this, suite of services that we provide people, right?
Give us a quick laundry list of the most common.
Definitely. Yeah. Home organization, that's a huge sweet spot for us. And people use the word and phrase organization kind of in a lot of different ways anymore. But it's everything from a typical home ed pantry all the way down to I need someone to spend an hour, pull out all the stuff out of my linen closet and put it back so it works and looks nice.
I've heard you talk about doing that with garages.
Definitely. Garages,
maybe a closet,
basements, junk drawers, office spaces, the list goes on.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. And then we do pickups and drop-offs, errands, merchandise returns. We can do home tidying, which is like laundry and dishes, things that your housekeeper is out of their reach.
Yeah.
We also do research for folks to kind of step in and spend time on the internet.
That was
it's time consuming. And that's in the way of events and trips and summer camps for your kids.
Okay, I'm
vendors.
gonna hit the pause button.
Yeah.
So not only doing the research, but you and your team made the appointments.
Yeah.
You organized.
We'll meet you where you're at and help you as much as you need. Everyone's different.
Yes,
So all those things. And then we also work with small businesses and encourage the leaders of those businesses to offer our suite of services to their employees as a benefit. Really kind of, it extends a lot of the stuff that we've talked about, right? Helping people have it all, helping people achieve their goals when they need them, when they're stretched on both sides and things like that. We also help with pets. We also help with moving services. So all the real estate folks, gifts, personal shopping, just you're busy, right? All the stuff that's on your plate that you don't want to get to, you don't want to do, because you should be doing the good stuff.
We help you with your busy.
Yep. So weirdest thing that's come at us.
Yes.
There's a lot.
Or unique, weird, unique. Choose your word.
Yes, exactly. Unique is probably the best word. I think that the one that always comes to mind, and it's a fun one, is that this group of guys that we know, friends of Zeal, if you will, they're in a very competitive fantasy football league. Oh. I'm a football junkie too, so I think it was a good conversation. And one of the gentlemen, the commissioner, if you will, said, listen, this is a big year for us. He kind of builds it up, has this whole story to it. And he's like, and we're having some arguments amongst the teams, amongst the leagues, that there's some, not everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so we're going to hire a neutral third party to come in and facilitate the draft.
Incoming.
Yeah. So I was like, gotcha. So we did a whole show. We videotaped it, and I had to send it out to all the people.
Oh my gosh, that's
and
awesome.
I picked the teams and helped administer all this stuff.
Like a draft.
Like a true draft.
I love it.
I probably spent a little more time in it than I should have, because I was like, we need like music, and I'm going to wear my Chiefs stuff, and it's going to be great. And like, they were like, yes.
Yeah.
So videoed it, and I just sent it out and received, some people were not happy with my draft pick order. So I received some negative feedback. So I don't know how they fared. But it was fun. And like, again, incredibly random, incredibly unique. But
wow.
That's what that group of guys needed that day, that week.
I love Friends of Zeal.
Yes.
I love that. And go Chiefs.
Go
Okay,
Chiefs.
So where can our viewers and listeners find you? I'm thinking zealhelps.com.
You're too good. You bet.
You know what?
Zealhelps.com.
It's my iPad. Zealhelps.com.
And we're on all the social platforms too. In fact, those are great places to follow, because you see the stories, the befores and afters of these organizations, services and stuff too. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those things.
Also you have a little tab for articles.
We do.
Yeah, like organized.
Yep. There's so much material on decluttering and organization and all that stuff, amongst other things. Yeah. But that's good.
So
content.
Kudos to you. Yeah.
Good material.
So I will just say, Andrea, that you and your team are, to me, the definition of professional, dependable, and trustworthy.
Thank you.
Because, some of these things that people take advantage of your service for, we need to trust
100%
that there might be confidentiality.
Certainly.
No judging of my closet.
Yeah. Right. We hear that a lot.
I mean, it could be a lot of that, right? So with that, I just so appreciate that you took the time out of your busy day.
Yes. Hey.
To spend with us. Thank you. Everyone.
Thank you for the invitation. This I could talk about Zeal and
yes,
belay all day.
Belay, right?
All day.
I know, all day. I love that. Yes, mortgage business, Zeal helps. So that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you so much for joining High Trust Professionals. I am your podcast host, Lynette Arrasmith. Hey, do me a favor. Let's connect on social media. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm even on TikTok.
Oh, there you go.
I know, it's a stretch, but I am. So, you'll find us there. And guys, we will see you next time.